What's going on, guys? It's Garrett here. Hope everybody's having a fantastic end to their weekend, and once again, I hope everybody had a fun, safe Thanksgiving this time around. And I just wanted to come on real quick to do our usual Sunday tradition and do a not quick. We're gonna dive deep into what we're watching this week. Look at what the moves we're looking up, kind of update on what happened last week. Last week we had a lot of our targets hit, and a lot of the things we talked about went through. So that's a good thing. And you guys know every time, every Sunday, we come on here and we talk about what we want to see happen this week. Now you can see this is the projection from last week. I was looking for a break in this low and a test of 93. Now this is what I wanted to happen in terms of a trade, aka looking for a trade over on the Euro USD. We didn't really get that. There were trades though. That's definitely not what I'm saying here. But overall, the long-term targets were hit. So all of you free viewers, I hope these videos were helpful to you. I hope that some of those free viewers who can't get in get kind of a look and are able to digest what I use and how I apply this stuff in the markets. Not specifically the advanced stuff, but technically just price action. I mean, it's there for you to digest and look at. I might not take a dive deep to explain it in here like I do in the insider chat or in the Big Bang Theory, but you can definitely see what's going on in terms of price action. I just use historical levels that posed support and resistance into in a previous move, right? In a previous bull or bear market. So as of right now, bears are definitely in control. We had these lower highs made. We can see these here on the 4-hour. You can see high, low, broken lows, lower low, lower high, broken trend, and now we're continuing downwards. And everything says that we will continue downwards in the future for at least the beginning parts of this week. Now, what do we have here, right? So the dollar index, if we take it all the way out to the daily time frame, has pulled back up here and has made a solid move, from its lows down at 91. Oh, excuse me. So basically what I was looking for, okay, we're in this pullback phase, and for us to be bearish again, we need to break the lows somewhere. So we broke this low. Okay, we have broken this low, and we have formed bearish market structure. I'm not going to say it had to be this low because we have formed bearish market structure. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for an ultimate test of 91. But if we're going to continue on the lower time frame and look for continual tests, we need to look for more obvious areas of support and resistance on the lower time frame that we can target, right? Not such huge targets, because we do have areas like this. We have areas like, well, I don't see much of anything holding us back from testing that area. Say, if we break this area, and then from that area we do have this area, and then from there we have 91. Okay, those are the areas that are of interest to me, and you can see we broke 93. That was a level back on the lower time frame, back over in the pullback leg that I just showed you, and we've broken that, right? And we rode this bottom band all the way down. Let me make sure. Okay. And we rode that bottom band all the way down. Okay, the lower band is, and this, what did this signify, right? This signifies strong trends. Guys, I uploaded a free video that talks about how I apply Bollinger Bands on Saturday, or yesterday. I uploaded it, and I talked about how this indicator helps me stay confident, or it helps me really realize that I need to turn it around. In terms of what my direction is and what my bias is. Okay, these help me a lot in terms of finding support and resistance in the point of pullback and showing overextension. They are one of the most helpful indicators I have ever used in my life, besides price action. Okay, they are my favorite technical indicator, and I will stand by that continuously. But as you can see, we had impulse leg, pullback, impulse leg. Now, when we will see the next pullback, I have no idea. You can see when we actually made higher highs. Usually it involves a break in the high. So, I mean, if we were seeing major pullback phase, we would want to at least break out of 93.20. But under 93.20, I'm bearish. Okay, so what's happening on currently, or what's going on currently? Okay, we are finding support here at 92.80 roughly. Okay, if we wanted to round it, really it's 92.75. Okay, we're finding support at 92.75. And we're pulling back, okay? We're testing, we're getting close to that mid-band, and we're showing weakness. So, having our bias in mind, which is bearish, having our mid-band test and sellers coming up, we could immediately say, okay, this is probably going to go bearish over the next 24 hours. We will see. We don't know until it happens, but we can we can assume, based on what we have with backing it up with our analysis, that we are going to go bearish. So with the dollar index, with that being said, I would look for a break of 92.80 and then a rally down to 91.80. That's 100 points. That's a big day on the dollar index. Will that happen in one day? Probably not. But if it does, we can't say that we were not ready for it. So knowing that, I don't trade the dollar index directly. So knowing that we're bearish, let's look on the Euro USD and see what we have. So the Euro USD is basically everything with the dollar index reversed. All right, that's all you really need to know. So higher highs have been made. We broke that high. Now we can test this high, and eventually this high. Okay, these are the two areas of interest that those are the two areas of interest that I have until, as of right now. Will we hit 120 this week? I don't know. We probably will hit 120 this week if we stay bullish. It's only 80 pips away. That's not too far. But something that's interesting is I talked about this exact kind of pattern on that video on Saturday. When price begins to slow down and pull away from price, we usually see this, at least tend to see a break in the 10 moving average, and we pull back towards the mid-band, or we reverse trend. Look, pull away, rally. Now that was just smoothed out price, rally, pull away, rally, pull away, rally. It tends to be a slow pattern until something can push it, right? But we've broken this 10 EMA. So now what we want to see is we want to see what happens when price is hitting this mid-band. That's a good solid point to look at when you're looking at pullbacks. So if we pull fib from here to here, that'd be about right on that 38.2. So there'd be some support there, but we don't have much of anything to go off of, if I'm being completely dead honest with you. This entire area is hard to set a target because these highs are so close to each other. You boom, boom, or boom, boom. So I think a good, decent target, if we would want to go long, would actually just be 120 on the dot. Now we would need a good stop placement to make that trade worth it. If we wanted to get up to 120, we would need something like a 20. No more than a 20, no more than like a 25 pip stop. Okay, that'd probably be the top stop that I would want to look at, just to make sure that I stick within that 1 to 3 risk reward ratio. Okay, so Euro USD I'm definitely still bullish on. You can see what happened here. We pulled back on the weekly. Not much leeway on the bottom band, eventually reversing us and going bullish. Okay, looking very nicely bullish as well. Daily opening up band. We could definitely ride that band up to 120. That possibility is definitely there. So we'll have to see what happens. But this was definitely a nice leg. I'll have to see what happens here in this period, this area of indecision. I consider this the area of indecision. In between the mid-band and the 10 EMA is usually a solid period of indecision and when the market makes up its mind. But there are a lot of factors that go into it, right? So when we're in this period of indecision, I consider that sideways. I consider that retracement mode. I consider that not a trending market. But what happens is, okay, people will be like, oh my god, we broke, like right back here. Oh my god, we broke, right? So we're going bearish. No, this bottom band was supporting price still, so I actually saw that as a decent fake out. Oh my god, we broke. Nope, there's literally no movement in the band whatsoever. Found support, rallied up. Decent scalp of about 40 pips, okay? Excuse my phone. Alright, so that's what I'm looking at with Euro USD. I would look for 120 as a first target. That would be a decent trade to start off the week. That'd be a great trade to start off the week. If we can get a trade down somewhere in this area, rally up towards 120, I would be a happy camper. I would be close to ending my week right there if I wanted to, if we got this trade on Monday. Mondays are a little bit iffy. Sometimes they're insanely volatile. Sometimes they are just dead. So we'll have to see what happens. But it looks like we have a lot of support from the Bollinger Bands as of right now. All right. USD Jappy. This is interesting. So USD Jappy on the daily time frame, guys. Remember, we were talking about bears up in here and about indecision and about being up here. We need to be careful, right? This is all sideways. This is a bunch of iffy stuff. So we need to be careful with what we're calling because a lot of it we're unsure of a lot of it. Okay. But I said, okay, once we start breaking these lows, look for those pullbacks and start possibly scaling in, because where I would start possibly scaling in at least is because this is where the trend is secure, this is where the trend is strong, this is where the trend is obvious. Okay, up here it wasn't very obvious. Look, it looks bearish here, then you get bullish. All right, it looks bearish here, then you get bullish. It looks bullish here, then you get bearish. All right, so there wasn't much to go off of. So I identified an obvious low and an obvious high. Obvious low, obvious high, of where, okay, if we break this, we're bullish. If we break this, we're bearish. In between, no fucks given. It's gonna go wherever the fuck it wants. There's no way to change that. So we broke that low, pulled back, declined, pulled back, declined. Okay, so we have a nice trend setting up here, and as of right now, we ended up hitting actually this 111.70 area all the way up from 113. So about 120 pip move, bad math, 130 pip move that we saw, and within a couple of days. Within a couple of days. It's definitely a good trade, and I still see it being a good trade. Look, there are not many sellers or buyers right now, and they're getting fucked up here at this 111.70 retest. Excuse my language, but there are studies that say whenever you cuss, it gets people's attention. It makes people pay attention, okay? And that sounded very made up, but you can look it up. Cussing emphasizes attention span, and it helps get your attention. Whether that's good attention or bad attention, I don't know. But I have your attention, okay? But these buyers are getting fucked, okay? And you can look. We had a nice little decline, but now look, okay, they try to push. This is market psychology. This is where analyzing candle by candle comes in handy. You can see we have sellers coming in. We held this mid-band multiple times, and we rallied up to here. So if we break this trend line, this mid band, that could be a decent signal. I'm looking to go short actually now that I'm looking at this, honestly. This is why I like looking here. I never take trades on a screen. That's very iffy with the law, so you'll never see me do that. I'll notify you guys when I do, but I will never show it live on screen. I have before, and it's iffy with the law, okay? So I'm just saying that now. Something that I like about this, okay? What do I like about this trade? Look at the tendencies of the market every time it pulled back. You can see, I'm just going to zoom in on this one little trending area, okay? Broke, small decline, or small pullback, decline. Broke, small pullback, decline. None of these retracements have surpassed that 61.8, okay? What the hell did I just do? 61.8. Okay, I see what I was doing. Almost the exact same measured move. Nothing past the 50. And here we are chilling at the 38.2. Okay, right on that mid band. Every time mid prices touch mid band, it has found resistance. All right, so low buying strength, nice trend line possibly going to get broken. Steep upper band showing resistance. So that's definitely something that I will be watching in terms of USD Jappy. Targets, 110.50. I think 110.50 would be a decent starting point. That'd be a little under 100 pips, but I'm looking for something that's realistic, that's not so overextended. I would say somewhere in this range. 110.20. 110.50 if we wanted to be, if we got a good entry and a nice stop place, then 110.50 would be conservative. 110.20 would be would definitely be a little bit, what's the word, not conservative, aggressive. 110.20 would be aggressive. 110.50 is conservative. So we'll have to see what happens here, but it looks like a nice short, guys, on UJ is what I'm watching to start off the week. So look out for a test of 110.50. And with that being said, let's move on to Pound USD. I really have no interest in this pair whatsoever, unless I see something nice on the daily. I don't. Nope. No go. Pound pairs kind of suck right now, so I'm not really interested in them, to be honest with you. Let's take a look here, actually. Okay, let's go back to the daily. So, what's interesting about the Aussie dollar right now is the fact that, okay, we're a foreign currency. If the dollar's going up, this is going down. Okay, it's simple with that. It's as simple as that. So, as of right now, you can see, okay, we broke this 75.76 area, this 75.80, 70, whatever you want to call it, 75.70. You can call it whatever you want. This low back here is what we broke. Okay, we ended up testing this low. There's not much areas to target now, except, yeah. So, bam. Let's let's look for this low. So what's big to know in the long term, okay, is that okay, we broke. We had look at these impulse waves, okay. Strong selling, very weak buying, barely any buying, low amounts of buying, okay. So what I like about this is the fact that okay, we formed a swing high right here, high, higher high, lower high. And now we have sellers that are displaying themselves on a Sunday. That's not very meaningful, but what we need to see what happens tomorrow. But if we continue downwards and this band looks like it's willing to open up, it looks like it's willing to. It's not opened up yet, but it looks like it's willing to. Upper band resistance, that could at least push us down to possibly test the 75.30 area by the end of this week and possibly even break that area and help with the ride to 73.70. That's the target. That would be a very long-term target. That would take weeks to accomplish. But with this low being broken, there's not much stopping it until we get to 73.70, unless something big in the area of fundamentals happens. Excuse me. So that's something that I would be looking for on AUD USD. I would look for bears to continue to display themselves clearly. But you can see actually that we have not very nice selling pressure. We had a range here and we're breaking it. So this is something that possibly could be very interesting to our accounts. Okay, we like those obvious trades that are easy as shit to make. That are easy as shit to make money. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a tip here. This is straight out of old classic stock pattern rules. Okay, when you go into a period of sideways consolidation. And the trend, and look, so what I'm going to try to say this as simply as possible. Sideways price action. This is back from the old stack days. Okay, this is one of the first patterns that was discussed. Okay, and that was taught by some of the best out there. The Livermore, Wyckoff, the Richard Dennis, those things. These big trend traders. When you go into a period of consolidation, this shows an area of accumulation or distribution, and within that area, if you have signs like this, now granted this isn't 100% of the time, bam, within this consolidation we had lower highs form, okay, which shows bears being in control, and boom, you broke. Whenever this happens, it is a sure sign that there are more sellers than buyers and that you could possibly see a break lower, greater than the chances of seeing a break higher, especially in conjunction with the higher time frame trend being bearish. So, if we're playing conservative, now that we are confidently bearish on the higher time frame, we have no other reason to believe so that we shouldn't be until at least we break. I mean, if we were to pull back down to here and then rally and break that 76.40 area, then yeah, I would be willing to entertain the ideas of longs up to the daily high up there. But until then, that's a no-go. Targets down here. Okay, that's simple. And let me check to make sure if I can delete this or not. Yeah, I can delete this. That's been a broken low. We know that. Okay, so now what are we looking for? Okay, we pulled back, found resistance, bam, decline in price, nice rally, nice little decline in price, and boom. And look at this fake out. Okay, we broke the mid band, no Bollinger, no upper band leeway whatsoever. Nice fake out, decline. Okay, decline of about 30 pips. Okay, nice little scalp there if you wanted to or whatever. But we broke, so what we could see is we might see a little decline, continuation in the decline here. If we do, I'm just going to put that there. That would be A1. This would be the A1 move. Okay, if we could get this to shake out. Okay, an obvious AUD USD long or short. USD Jappy. You know what's weird about this pair is it looks short even though we're bullish on the dollar. That was so not true. So I totally confused you guys there. I accidentally said that the dollar index was bullish, and that's not true. I'm bearish on the dollar index, which means even with this, I would be bullish. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about the dollar index because that can be confusing. If you actually look back, sometimes the AUD and the NZD do not correlate with the dollar index very well. They still correlate similarly, but they don't correlate very well. Okay, so just remember that. But I'm still confident in this. Do not let that confuse you. Just so you know, I am still bearish on the dollar index. Okay, so we would have to look at what's happening there. But that's actually something that we would have to be careful with. Now that I bring that up, we need to be careful with selling because we're bullish on the dollar. Okay. even though we're seeing these sellers come through, this is what I'm talking about with correlation. We have strong selling pressure. Excuse me. We have strong selling pressure against the Aussie dollar, but we have nice buying pressure on the euro. All right, so that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes shorting the Aussie dollar against the dollar or against the U.S. dollar is okay, right? That's okay because sometimes something else is going on in terms of economics and things like that, to where it doesn't necessarily mess up the correlations, okay? But you can buy the euro against the dollar. This is where trading cross pairs is sometimes a little bit confusing, but it works, right? It's definitely true. So be careful. Just know that the technicals are still there. Don't let this confuse you. What I just said confuse you. This is still kind of what I'm looking for, according to price action, guys. I mean, this looks like a textbook kind of setup right now. So definitely don't be too confused. This looks like a possible textbook setup. So I'm definitely not confused. I'm going to stick with that analysis and we'll have to see what happens. USD Swiss. What do we got? I don't like this pair just because the higher time frame. Yeah, I'm just not. It's just not going to happen. Alright, so with NZD USD, what I see, that rhymed, nice little rhyme drop there. Plop this line down here. We found support here. We actually broke it. So if we were going to actually look to be particular and stuff, we tested this mid band, posted a nice pullback, and 6680 could be a possible target. That's obviously ultra long term. If we wanted to stay bearish, obviously, once again, you're seeing that same pattern that we saw with AUD USD. Where's channel? There it is. I mean, I would just look for a test down to 6820. That would be my first target by far. 6820 would probably be a good starting point for sure. If we wanted to continue downwards, if we wanted to pull back, give us the entry once again on here. That could definitely be a possibility. It's just a textbook bearish bears coming in control in a time of consolidation. We see we're making one of these intermarket swing highs, high, higher high, lower high, forming that cup pattern that continues price lower. So that's definitely something that we could see in terms of continuation with NZD USD if the bears wanted to continue to have control of this pair with the New Zealand dollar against the US dollar. With the economic, let's check the economic calendar real quick, just to see if we have any big news in terms of just any foreign currency that we are interested in playing. Log into my investing.com here. That was bad. Fuck. Alright. Ah, I did it with Google. That's the problem. I remember now. Let's look at the economic calendar. Nothing of huge importance on the US dollar. We'll be taking a look at these because something that's interesting in terms of digesting economics is if the new home sales are going up, if home sales do increase, guys, just think about digesting economics like this. Okay, if new home sales are up, right, or if they're down, this is going to show a decline in industries that are affected by construction, residential construction. So that's something that's good about the stock market. Let's just look at this week. That was a very random lesson, but it is a lesson. So take it into consideration. We have don't even worry when these kinds of people speak, unless they say something just totally off the rails. Don't really worry about them. Boom. Wednesday at 10 a.m. Yellen will speak. We'll have inventories there. We'll look at oil here in a second. Nice. Oh, OPEC meeting. That will be important. Okay, there will be a big meeting on Thursday that will have that will carry heavy effects in the markets. So be careful there as well. Jobless claims, those are interesting sometimes. Sometimes they don't work. Sometimes they work in terms of projecting NFP and all of these, and ISM manufacturing, all the special stuff. So look at ISM manufacturing, non-manufacturing, and Yellen testifying. Okay, nothing in the lines of interest rates or any of that whatsoever. So, and then obviously we have Friday, December 1st. That will be. It's not listing. Am I having a major brain fart here? It's not listing NFP. I'm curious to see if maybe they're going to wait to do it next week, solely because that's the 1st of December. That's, even though it is the first Friday of the month, it is the 1st of December. So they might exclude that rule, and if it lands on the 1st of the month. So it looks like they're going to wait to do it next week. So nothing big in that in the eyes of fundamentals, but we do have Yellen testifying, and usually we get some good action in that. Or if Mario Draghi speaks over in Europe, we get some nice moves there as well. So let's look for this to occur on NZD USD. Look for a possible pullback and then look for a test of 68.20 as a decent target if the bears want to stay in control. Bitcoin is fucking insane. I don't get this. This thing blows my damn socks off every damn time. I wish I understood it way back here. I just don't understand this thing, and I don't trade things that I don't understand. I don't understand it. Okay, I really don't understand virtual currency and how the mining and everything works, and I want to know how that shit works before I try to put my money into it. So will we hit 10,000 this week? I don't know, but it's entertaining to watch because, guys, another thing that I worry with this thing is everybody's getting in. It's like the tech boom, okay? It's like the tech boom of 2001 or late 90s. Everybody had to get in. Okay, go buy fucking Bitcoin. Go buy some virtual currency, and you will make money. Okay, this is kind of the way it's going right now. So, oh my gosh, something has some weird word and then coin after it. It's like somecompany.com. You bought it and it went up. Some weird word and then coin after it, or some crazy coin, some crazy virtual currency. You buy it and it rallies. Okay, this is overextended. These are pullbacks, but these are nothing. Okay. You will see a correction in this thing. Nothing just goes straight up. Believe me, I wish I could have gotten in some of these areas. I'm pretty sure I was frickin' watching it back in these areas, okay? The people, me, Sean, Anthony, the people you talk about, we have our own little chat, and Anthony was calling these buys, back here. It's fucking insane. You could have made 9 times, 8 times your fucking money on this shit. And imagine if you had millions of dollars to put into it, and imagine the people who got in back here, okay, back in here. Jesus, it's the frickin' investment of the fucking century, and I just don't get it. I don't understand it, right? Every time I'm like, shit, this thing just makes new highs every time, and you think people would just be like, oh, dude, just buy it. No, I don't do shit that I don't understand. I don't trade shit that I don't understand. I will never do that. So it's entertaining to watch. Believe me, I find this shit entertaining, and that's weird. Only very few people in this world find watching this shit entertaining, but it's entertaining to me. So we're making these crazy new highs. This party will come to an end. Okay, you have people every day now. You hear some headline. Some dude bought Bitcoin here. He's worth $70 million now. This dude bought this here. He's sending his kid to college now because of this rally. Oh my God! Blah 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 blah. It's entertaining, but I'm almost positive that this will come to an end because every piece of this mimics the 2001 tech rallies. But this time it's with what the fuck are these things called? It's not just Bitcoin. There's a special word. It's not just virtual currency either. It's cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is now just booming. Where's Ethereum at? ETH, USD, cryptocurrency. Let's look up I need to look up fuck. Okay, I saw it. That's way up too. Geez. This stuff is interesting, guys. You're witnessing crazy moves in a market, Now, just what's going to be even more interesting is when the correction occurs, okay? Which it will happen. People are going to shit their pants. It's probably going to, when it hits 10,000, it'll probably correct. It'll probably correct it. I mean, fuck, I don't want to say 50%, but it's because, but I mean, 10,000 pull back down to 5,000 doesn't really seem all that bad. I mean, it comes down back down near this area, okay? If it corrected, which would, I mean, then it would warrant people to buy. Now, I'm not doubting that this thing is going to be, that this thing is going to be some piece of shit buy, because clearly it's not. I mean, but this thing is one of the most entertaining things to watch, and I don't trade it. I don't trade shit that I don't understand. I never will. Once I understand it, once I can learn a bit about it, then I'll trade it. But I just don't really understand it, and I should, because I'm a young guy. Almost every person in my generation understands this shit. But another thing is, I don't think this currency being worth $10,000 for one of them is necessarily sustainable. I don't know if that's sustainable, especially when we get up to the $15,000, the $25,000, $30,000 range, where one frickin' coin represents the low-income yearly wage. Okay, that's something that that's one thing that I don't understand. And I don't think it will ever become a sustainable form of currency. Now I know that this is silly to talk about, but even in periods of inflation, your dollar still had buying power, but you still had that dollar that had that buying power, even if the other prices of other goods that you were purchasing were going up, right? So that's what inflation is and things like that, where the buying power of your currency is decreased, but the goods that the economy is supporting go up, so you have less buying power with that dollar. It's the same thing. I think that this thing fluctuates too much to where, okay, if someone were if there was going to be some company that tried to pay their employees in Bitcoin and their average salary was $45,000 a year, okay, they give them 4.5 of these things or 5 of these things, and then next thing you know, we have a major decline. So you paid them $4,500 worth of Bitcoin at 7,600, but now it's down at 6,000. So now their 45,000 is worth 35,000. That's something that I don't understand, and I think it's interesting. That may have sounded really stupid, but that's kind of how I think of it, right? In terms of sustainability as a currency. Do I think it has the ability to be a currency? Yes, it already is one. There are certain things that are accepting programs that are accepting Bitcoin and things like that. And I know it fluctuates just like the dollar and the euro, but once again, it's a little confusing to me. So it's an entertaining thing to watch. I mean, hell, this thing, ever since I started watching it back here in the summer, it's gone from 1,800 up to 10,000. It just makes new highs every damn day, it seems like. USD CAD, that's a no-go. Let's go down to oil and gold so I can wrap this up. Oil. Will we hit 60? I do not know, my friends. We've been looking for 60 for a while. Let's look at the 4-hour. Let's look back to the 60. You can see on the daily we broke above this 58 area, so there's a lot in terms. Let's go to the 4-hour. So 60 looks, yet so close, yet so far. 60 is right up in here. So let's go down to the 60-minute now, and just knowing that. So if we get a pullback, we get a nice pullback here. We are getting a nice pullback as we speak. Look for, hell, we are looking for 60, guys. Okay, we are looking for oil to hit friggin' 60 just once. Okay, not even just once. We just want it to happen, right? It doesn't matter how many times we do it, but we've had a nice rally off of this, off the test of the mid-band there. Solid support on the retracement, and bam, you see the nice rally. So with that being said, I'm still confident in our analysis that we talked about 2 or 3 weeks back, stating that we would like to target 60. I'm still confident in that. So I'm willing to play buys and play longs up to there. I don't want to play it in this. This is a little sloppy for me. But look for 60, all right? And with gold, gold is a no-go for me. It's just too damn sideways. It's that simple. We have a lot of setups. We have a lot of potential setups on AUD USD. We have a setup on NZD USD. USD JAPY, Euro. We have possible setups everywhere that are presenting themselves. So definitely watch out for those guys. Once again, I hope everybody had a fantastic Thanksgiving with their families. I hope it was all safe. And if you didn't, if you didn't have the privilege to celebrate Thanksgiving the way you did, get your ass to work. And I know I was talking about be willing to take a break, but there are some points where you need to realize I am done taking breaks. I need to set myself straight here. I have to tell myself this all the time, okay? it is going to be hard to motivate and discipline yourself, even in trading, because trading can get hard, and you can ask, okay, this is complicated, I'd rather just do something else, you know, blah, blah, blah. Sacrifice things, okay? It's hard to do, and I'm a hypocrite of this because sometimes I don't sacrifice things when I need to get my work done, but I realize that what I'm doing is wrong, and I learn my lesson. All right, so once again, I hope everybody had a good week, had a good short week. Last week was good in terms of trading. We had a couple good trades at the early stages of the week. But once again, guys, I will keep you all up to date on these positions in the chat, so don't worry about that, and I will talk to you guys in the morning. Have a good night, guys.